All right. So, like I said, today will be a very good day. The person that is coming on board is an amazing person, an amazing friend. It was the one that introduced me to Forex. I just want to give us a breakdown on the GBP USD trade that I posted earlier, that I showed us how price took out the monthly low and is aiming for the monthly highs. So let me just show us. So, like I said earlier, we should be targeting to take out this high here because market has taken out the internal range liquidity, and we'll definitely be aiming for an external range liquidity. As we can see here, the price took out this one, right? So we should be expecting the market to come up to this point here. So we're also anticipating that. And as you can see, the market has, moved very tremendously to the upside. But then let's see what the market holds for us. So in other words, we should only be looking for buys here to take out these highs, right? And should also pay attention to this key level because the market might, sell from this point. But then what do you observe? You can see that this key level and this one will just serve as our liquidity, right? This will serve as our liquidity and we just expect the market to just, come through here and continue to the downside because from what we can see here, this bearish candlestick, it represents or it shows that the market has broken structure to the downside and we should expect a massive sell to the downside. All right. I don't know because this is a monthly time frame, so we should, see all of these things this month. So all of these things would happen this month. This bullish candle would do all of these things this month. So we have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks left, 2 weeks for this thing to happen. So don't expect it to happen like today or tomorrow, right? It will take like a whole full month for this candle to complete whatever thing that we want it to do, right? And like I would always say, forex trading is not a get rich quick scheme. You need time, you need patience, you need so many things in place before you can consider yourself a forex trader, and not just a forex trader, a profitable one at that. So you need time, you need patience, you need to, show up every day and that's it, right? I'll just, allow Bookings to do the rest of what we have for today. So let me just bring him up. Thank you very much for coming, sir. People have been asking me, oh, is booking still coming and all of that. I try as much as I can to, let people understand that booking is not just somebody that, I can just bring on here. So for today, I just want us to get our pen and our notepad because yes, trust me, for today's topic, everything you need, like the right mindset to start trading with, Bookings will communicate it with us. And trust me, today is going to be an amazing one, right?
Thank you, brotherly. All right, just a brief introduction of myself. My name is Bukins, Ebuka James, actually, but then I like to go with Bukins. I'm a developer, and I got introduced to Forex 2017. That's quite a long time, right? 2017, that was when I got introduced to Forex. I didn't know anything in Forex. I joined with IML Academy. For some of you may know IML Academy, some of you may not know IML Academy. That should be one of, the the biggest trading academy as at the time. That was what got a lot of people introduced into the forex market. They were basically an MLM company. MLM is a multi-level marketing company. They were basically just there to market the product. They had some very good product, harmonic scanner. They had some amazing products, they had back in the day. And that also helped a lot of people make money. But then the people that were promoting it were just concerned about the referrals and all of that. So we didn't quite know much about trading during the period. But as time progressed, for me personally, just like I'm going to be talking about, the right mindset for traders. I didn't have the right mindset. There was no knowledge. I just wanted to go into it because I felt it was lucrative. And especially when you hear people say things like the largest financial market in the world. You hear things like that the foreign exchange market is the largest financial market that trades about $6.6 trillion in a day. That thing just, gives you these high hopes and all of that. You just feel like you can just get into the market and pick the money you can and just leave. It looked like that, but that was not exactly what I saw. You know, we got into the market with high hopes, but then a few things happen, and those few things I'm going to share in the diagram with us. I would have annotated this diagram earlier before I came, but I feel like I should do that in our presence so that everything will look real. So that it doesn't look like I just cooked up something, so that we can understand the process and the procedure to how most of these things work. And now this is designed not just for people that are getting introduced to the foreign exchange market, but also people that have been trading for some time. This is really going to help you because I may not do technicals. I like to do technicals, but I believe they've done a lot of technicals. So this is more like re-engineering our minds to understand the goal, to understand what it was that we signed up for when we decided to take Forex as a career. And I must say, Forex is one of the best choices anybody can make, as long as financial independence and freedom is concerned. Forex is one of the best decisions you can make, and is worth every time, is worth every energy, is worth every resources that you put into it. I must tell you that for real. It's worth the timing. All right. Let me share my screen. This is the journey of every trader. Every trader that begins. There are three phases for every trader in this market. There are three phases. Let me draw up something for us. And these phases are really, really important because this is what defines every single thing that we do in the market. This defines our journey and all of that. Okay, let me make this a little bigger. All right, here we have the first stage is the gambling stage. In as much as you don't want to believe that you were a gambler at one time, every single one of us were gamblers. And I will explain what that means. We're gamblers in the sense that, you know, anything you don't know, any knowledge you don't have sufficient information about, you're actually a gambler. And we're actually referring to a market, a business where you already have money inside. Like you are going to be dealing with money, you're going to be dealing with a lot of things. So that makes you a gambler because if you're dealing with something that has to do with money and then you don't understand it, that makes you a gambler. Now, this is the stage every single one of us begins from. Now, there are three stages in this market. Now, the second stage is what I refer to as the conscious trader. The conscious trader. I think I need to get this. Okay. And the third stage, or the goal of every trader, is what we call profitable trader. This is where everybody wants to be. This is where everybody wants to get to. Now, at this stage, this is more like, let me use my trend line for this. Please stay with me, okay? You're going to learn a lot from this. All right, at this stage, my drawing may not be the best, but I think it sure does the job. When they were teaching us fine art in class, we're not taking it seriously. I never knew that one day I'll be doing fine art. I'll be drawing just to make money. All right, guys. So this is the introductory phase of the market where every single one of us begins from. Now, we begin from the gambler stage. Now, at this point, what we have as people are unrealistic dreams. A lot of you got interested in trading because we saw probably Jeffrey Benson or some of these online influencers, spilling cash, taking a drink, somewhere having vacation somewhere in the Maldives. We see some of these guys doing great things, buying Porsche, buying beautiful cars. You know, I think the last car he bought now is a Cybertruck alongside with a GLC, thereabouts. And these are the motivations for most of us. And this was what got us into the market. Now, and we believe that the reason we can get into the market is just to make money and to make that kind of money, not just to make money, but to make that kind of money. So at this point, what you have is indiscipline. A lot of people get introduced into the market with a lot of indiscipline. Just like I mentioned, unrealistic dreams. No real plan, no real strategy. We just feel like we can just get into the market and pack out the millions. Especially when they sell dreams to us, they say $6.6 trillion industry, and then we feel like we can just go there and pack out the money. So this is where it actually begins from. All right. It begins from this place where you begin to imagine what you are not even supposed to imagine. Now, something happens at this stage is that failure, every single one of us encounter failure at this stage. For you to get from a gambler stage to a conscious trader, you fail many times, many times. Most times you lose your money. Most times you see some persons that fund their accounts, they keep funding and keep funding and keep funding. They've bought a funded account and they've blown it many times. And they keep buying and they keep buying. They are participating in giveaways almost every day on Twitter. They are trying to get something. This is the stage where a lot of persons are, especially those that are just introduced into the market. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Now, but one thing you must understand about failure is that you must be grateful for failure, because failure is actually what reveals your true personality. You see, this market will actually reveal the kind of person you are. It reveals some innate abilities and some of the things that you feel that you don't do. Forex will actually reveal it with time. You think you have mastered your anger, you think you've mastered your emotions, you think you've mastered greed, you think you've mastered discipline. No, this is where it's going to reveal. Now, this is the point where failure becomes the order of the day. And some persons quit at this stage because it doesn't seem like they can ever become a conscious trader, talk more becoming a profitable trader. So a lot of persons quit at this point. They say, no, I don't think this thing is for me. They turn back to some other things again. Probably they get into some other things that they feel could be a hype as well. And they feel like trading does not really, I think these things this guy sold were actually lies. So this is the stage where you encounter a lot of failures in the market. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So trading is the ultimate mastery of yourself. This is the point where you begin to master yourself. And now a few things happen now. For you to get from this journey to the conscious trader, there are factors that actually affect you at this stage. You don't just move from here to this point. Factors like environmental factors. People, because you've told people that you've taken up a career and that is trading. And that's one of the most dangerous things you can do to yourself, is to tell people that you are trading, especially when you are not profitable yet, to make people believe that you are trading, because there is this narrative people have. There is this, there's a stereotype that people have, how that once you begin trading, they feel like you are making a whole lot of money. You should be making millions in a day. That is the dream that every Nigerian have. That once this person is a trader, you got the person a trader, he's close to a Yahoo boy. Because now small thing, it's just a small dividing line between Yahoo and trading. So they believe that you can just start making the millions in one day. And that is the worst thing you can do, is to make people believe that you are trading. Don't tell anybody that you are trading at this time, because environmental factors is going to come. A lot of people are going to start putting unrealistic expectations on you. And this is going to put pressure on you as a trader. But the time you finally now move out of this environmental factor, move out from the failure factor and everything, then you started becoming conscious. Now, that is the time where probably you have now decided to take up a mentorship. You decided to be part of a mentorship. Maybe you've bought a mentorship or something like that, and you have decided to be part of a community where you can be mentored to be trained. Now, at this point, what happens is that you are taught things like technical analysis. You are taught things like risk management. You see, this is where conscious trader begins. This is where the journey actually begins. And now you are taught things like psychology. I think we've had classes on psychology earlier, how that trading doesn't just rely only on technical analysis. I used to do technical analysis a lot. I forgot that my mindset was actually a big part of the trading journey. And it started to affect me even when I had all the edge that I felt I had at the time. So this is where a conscious trader is made. This is the point where it begins. So you find out that these three factors are quite important. How that you are beginning to learn a few things now. Now you are beginning to understand the direction of the market. Okay, before we started this call, Sadify was trying to do a recap of a trade he took during the day. There are people that just at this gambling stage, they just enter a trade. And funny enough, they make money. We'll call that trader's luck. It's just a 50-50 chance. You can enter a buy. There's nobody that cannot enter a buy or a sell in the market. And the chances that you will not make anything is actually zero. Now, the point is actually 50. You have a 50% chance to make money. Do you know that without technical analysis, without anything, just entering a trade, you can even make money from it? Because no one owns the market. The market is not your father's business. It's not a family business. Nobody owns it. Nobody, basically, even in as much as we learn technical analysis, no one even understands the direction of the market. Because what actually happens, there are a lot of factors, that determines the direction of the market. In as much as we may have like a 50% edge, a 60% edge, 70% edge, depending 30% edge and whatever, mixed up with our risk management and psychology, that gives us a better edge in the market. Still, most of the times, after analyzing a very beautiful trade, you find out that the market reverses against you. And you're asking questions like, how? Now, this is the point where the consciousness of a real trader sets in. This is when the reality of trading sets in. Now, this is when, if you talk about the technical analysis, that talks about strategy. Now, there are a lot of strategies in the market. I'm not going to lie. A lot of strategies in the market. We have SMC, MSNR, we have support and resistance traders, we have supply and demand traders, and all of that. Now, these are the points where people even move from one point to before a trader moves from a conscious trader to a profitable trader, he goes through this cycle of strategy hopping, especially when it comes to technical. You find that a lot of people are stuck at a particular point where they believe that the reason they are not making it in the market is because their technical edge is bad. And how do I mean the technical edge is bad? Because we live in a world where, of course, the YouTube streams is flooded with a lot of people coming out with different strategy, people sharing their thoughts and everything. So a lot of people do what they call strategy hopping from one strategy to the other. I've been there. I had a very beautiful strategy going on one time, but I felt like it wasn't profitable enough. I've moved from one strategy to the other, only for me to discover that everything in the market works. Everything in the trading industry works. I started with support and resistance. Can I tell you something? What we call supply and demand is actually support and resistance. What we call order block is actually supply and demand. Do you know that I've started to look at, because I trade SLK as well. I mix it up with supply and demand as well. Do you know, I've looked at key levels and I discovered that key levels, when looked at intrinsically, key levels are actually supply and demand levels. Everything works in the market. I'm telling you, everything works. But you know, a lot of persons are stuck at this stage and they have all the technical edge. They understand a lot of concepts. In fact, they're not suffering from what they call analysis paralysis, where you know so much to even take action. And that becomes a very big problem because you know too much that you cannot even make a step. You actually analyze a trade, but you don't have the confidence to execute the trade. You know why? Because you feel a lot of things are going to work. You have a lot of parameters why this should work. And that even brings a level of faithlessness and distrust to yourself. How that you don't much trust your analysis because you believe that the market is going to go against you either way. That is a very bad stage anybody can get into the market. I'm telling you. You are stuck. You are just stuck at one particular point in your life. You are stuck. There is nothing you don't know. They call SMC, you know SMC. They call SLK, you know SLK. They call ICT, you know ICT. You know every single thing. You know what? You are just revolving around the knowledge. You are just a conscious trader. Is it good to be a conscious trader? Yes, it's very good to be a conscious trader. Now, at this point, what begins to happen to you is addiction. Now, for some persons, it's addiction that begins to happen to them at this point. Addiction, how that they want to trade every single time. Some persons, two things happen at this stage, basically. Addiction or fear. It's either you are addicted to trading, over trading, or you don't even have the moral courage to even take a trade. Every single time you are reanalyzing yourself. Am I sure this trade is going to go? And there are some people on the extreme. Now, these are two people on different extremes. You have one that is telling you that he trades like as if he's about to die. He keeps trading, over trading. Now we call that over trading, but that is actually addiction. And you find out that this doesn't just affect your trading journey, it affects your life. And now there are three areas this thing can affect your life. Basically, why did we get into the forex market? It's actually to make money. Forget anything any other person is saying. Say that, oh, I love trading. There's nobody that loves trading, my friend. Nobody like we just trade because we want to make money. I'm telling you, we just trade because we want to make money. Now it affects our wealth. Right? A lot of people because of fear, you lose. Because of over trading, addiction, you lose your money. Now, wealth can be your money, it can be your trading capital, it can be just anything. And it begins to affect even every other area of your life as well. This point, you hear people tell you that when you begin to have a losing streak, you just have to stay back and just wait a little. Now, staying out of the market does not mean that you are not consciously active. You may not be taking a trade, but that does not mean you are totally out of the market. Now, what I mean totally out of the market is that you are not analyzing anything. You are not looking at the direction. You are not taking like you are not watching what is happening in the market. Staying out of the market does not mean you should not watch what is happening in the market. I can decide to stay out of the market just to get my psychology in order. That does not mean that I don't come into the market to see what is happening in the market every day. I come every day to see what is actually going on in the market, to understand. I analyze just that I may not take trade. So people come to the stage where they are just afraid of taking any trade at all because probably they've lost and overlost and they've lost money and these things begin to affect them. Now, it even cascades down to affecting your health as well. It affects your health. Now, anything that affects your mind has affected your health. Everything that has affected your mind has affected your health because your mind is an intrinsic part of your health. A lot of persons are psycho, not because their hands are not working or their legs are broken, just that their minds are out of place. This thing can also affect your relationship, any kind of relationship. Now, one of the most important relationship is relationship with God. Because over the years, can I even say this? Over the years, I've seen pastors who thought that, trading could just help them, while they are doing ministry, let us take trading one side. So just to help us, get through to ministry and all of that. This thing begins to affect the prayer life. If you're actually a Christian, you're born again, maybe you're Muslim or whatever, it begins to affect you. It affects your relationship with God, affects your relationship with people, affects your relationship, if you're a married person, affects your relationship with your spouse, because all of a sudden you just vex for no reason. You just vex. Nobody can even tell you. And, I was seeing a post that he said, Forex trading, if you're actually a Forex trader, you don't need to, you've experienced what heartbreak really means. Heartbreak is nothing to a Forex trader again, because we see heartbreak almost every day in the market. Heartbreak is a normal phenomenon, like we see it almost every time in the market, especially when you've taken all your whole time to analyze a particular market and it doesn't come through, or it comes and takes you out and then starts going to your intended direction. Heartbreak no pass like that. It no pass like that. And now these things begin to affect you at this point. It affects your health, it affects your wealth, it affects your money, and then it begins to affect. Now, these are the pains that we have to go. Now, you find out that at this point, moving from a gambler to a conscious trader, there is a pain we go through. The environmental factor, people around us, family and all of that, constant failure affect us at this stage. Now, this is a hurdle we have to get through to get to this point. Even at this point where you can be stuck at this point, even as a conscious trader, you understand how the market works, you understand everything that goes on in the market, but yet you are still not profitable because you have not been able to define edge. Now, what gives you an edge in the market is not because you can do technical analysis or you can even understand fundamental analysis. That is not what gives you edge. What gives you edge as a market is because you trust that this thing is going to work and you're able to combine psychology with your risk alongside with it. There are a lot of people that they understand technical analysis and they understand psychology, but their risk management is in shit. Because you came from a background of gambling. There are people from a particular side of the country where everything that happens in their head is gambling, almost nada muda, that kind of a thing. And then you carry that particular mindset and enter into the market. What happens is that you begin to make blunders in the market almost every other time. Because you believe that we'll just throw away the money, that kind of a thing. And that there's no risk management in your trading. In as much as you may have a beautiful edge, you understand psychology, right? You understand technical analysis. Probably you found a particular strategy that is working for you. And now, what makes you fall in love with the strategy is the kind of person that you are as a person. That you see that a trader is probably a scalper, a positional trader or a swing trader is the kind of personality that you are. There are people that are naturally impatient as a person. Now, they can't just wait for something to happen. They are just wanting it immediately. Now, that kind of a person, market reveals the kind of person you are. And for your technical analysis, that makes you automatically become a scalper. There are people that they have a little patience and they can wait till the end of the day for something to happen and all of that, you know. In fact, that those people can do day trading and all of that. Now, there are people that have long patience, and probably it could be due to work, it could be due to the kind of schedule you have as a person. You see people that are going to swing trading, and of course, those guys that can stay for months holding the trade, we call them the positional traders. So, for that, you are beginning to understand the kind of person you are because Forex has actually revealed that personality to you. All right, now, this is the point where a lot of persons are. A lot of persons, like I've been in this stage for a very long time. I was in this stage for a very long time, hovering from strategy to strategy, from one thing to the other. And now finally, there is a hurdle that every single person must pass from moving from this point of being a conscious trader, because the ideology is for us to move from being a conscious trader to becoming a profitable trader. And there is this hurdle that we must pass again, and that is called subconsciousness. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, you see, this is the course of consciousness. Now, everything I'm saying tonight is an example of my life. Everything I'm saying, I just had to think about myself and my journey. All right, think about a few persons that were with me during this journey and all the things we've suffered. That was how I was able to think about all of these things at the same time. This is just a story of a journey because this is the mindset of a trader. And what should be the mindset of a trader that wants to become profitable? These are the steps that every trader go through. So I've sat down to look at myself and see, okay, these were the things that actually happened at the time. You see, at this stage, a lot of traders quit at this stage. Moving from a gambler to a conscious trader, a lot of people quit. Funny enough, a lot of persons quit even at this stage from this point, becoming a conscious trader with knowing technical analysis, risk, and psychology. A lot of persons still quit, moving from this point to a profitable trader. You see this pain, before I talk about subconsciousness, you see this pain of not being profitable can make a lot of persons quit. Because at the end of the day, you keep thinking that you can make back what you lost, and at the end of the day, you are losing relationship, losing wealth, and losing relationships, your wealth and your health and everything. Now, what is subconsciousness? Subconsciousness is your underlying thoughts. What you think you are not thinking, but is actually affecting the entirety of your life. That is what subconsciousness is. And a lot of us in Africa, our subconsciousness is tilted to survival. In fact, that is what the brain tells every single one of us. The brain is designed to make us survive first before anything. You know, there's this joke I normally tell. It's if you take an American and take an American to a 100 feet tall building, what an American sees is different from what an African or a typical Nigerian sees. An American will look at it and say, wow, what a beautiful view. Man, this is amazing. But carry Nigeria to that place. What a Nigerian will see. A Nigerian is going to see, oh, my person fall for his place. Oh, my person fall for this place and die. You know why? Survival has been encoded into our subconscious mind. Our only goal is survival. Not even profitability. Our only goal is to survive. Baba, mu just chop, mu just dey alive first. And we have this common saying in Nigeria that now who dey alive, now they do it. Please, if you know it, you can type it on the comment section. He said, now who dey alive, now they fight, whatever, something like that. Even in war, we say, he that lives, he who fights and run, will live to fight another day. And they say, he that fights and run, he said, I fear the catch up. Survival has been encoded into our subconscious mind. And everything we do, he said, now who dey alive, now they find money. I'm telling you. See, where this thing is bad is, we must align our subconscious mind to becoming profitable and not for survival. This is where the battle, from moving from this point to this point, this is where the battle is. Moving from aligning our subconscious mind from survival to profitability. Do you know why? Our subconsciousness is responsible for 95% of our actions in life. Our subconsciousness is responsible for 95%. You know why? Food is food anywhere. But what makes you like a particular food more than the other is your subconscious mind, what has been encoded into your DNA. A Chinese man now, if you give him a bar and the kind of food that we eat in this side of the country, I don't know if there are people from, from the US or whatever on this call, I don't know. But then from Nigeria, where I am speaking from right now, we have a kind of food, a bar and the rest of them, right? We eat a bar and we eat the kind of food we eat in this side of the country. Now, if you take an American and bring an American to eat the same food, not because our food is not delicious or our food is not nice, but an American may not fancy that food. You know why? Encoded in his subconscious mind is that a food must taste a certain way. His taste board has been encoded to see food from a particular light. I don't know if I'm making sense. The same way Nigerian man, most of the issues, that's why you go to the airport today, you see a lot of people packing plenty, they are traveling abroad, especially those guys going to the UK. You see them packing plenty things. They are packing fish, they are packing egusi, grounded egusi. Why? Is because, man, you've been trained to see food in a particular way. Yes, now country, they make you they travel, they come out for where you did, but at the end of the day, it will be very difficult for you, in as much as, yes, you are beginning to align your consciousness, your subconscious mind to see food from a different light, but still, your mind still sees food the way it used to see 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. All along, you've lived all your life. You are beginning to see food like that, and that has become, your directional bias. That has become your bias for what food should look like. I don't know if I'm making sense. Subconsciousness. Subconsciousness. We must align our subconsciousness from survival to profitability. Now, do you know why this is very bad? The way our subconscious is activated is that it sees threat to your survival. When it sees money on your screen, for some of us, we've been doing demo trading, because at this point is where you begin to do demo trading. You do demo trading at this point because, yes, okay, yes, I have to work on my psychology, I have to work on my risks, and then, you've been on demo trading, so your mind already now sees demo. There's no real money, no real emotion. Immediately you start seeing real money, your subconscious mind tilts back to survival. At this point where you are trading with demo and doing all the things you are doing with demo, your mind is just telling you, well, it's not the real money, actually. It doesn't really matter. Your emotions are not tilted at all. Nothing is spiking at all. Nothing is happening to you. You're just going because it's not a real money. Nothing is lost around you. So even if you lose a $10,000 demo account, is nothing to you. A 100,000 demo account is nothing to you, right? But immediately real money comes, what happens? Your subconscious mind comes alive instantly. Your subconscious mind starts fighting. It's like an antibody inside of you. For those that did biology and everything, it's like an antibody. It automatically starts fighting. It activates. It begins to see money as threats. And what is it trying to do? It's trying to tilt you back to survival. I'm talking to somebody this time because this looks like a problem. This is your problem. This is why you are still stuck at this point. This is the journey of a profitable trader. This is the journey. Money, your brain is now tilted to like, let's leave first, let's leave. No, you don't have to do this. And for some other persons, it's addiction, right? It's fear. But some other persons, it's actually addiction. When you see money, the way your mind thinks is thinking survival, but its approach to survival is actually different. Survival is that you keep trying and keep hitting it, because your brain is activated in a way that it has to survive by keep trying a particular thing. But some other persons is activated by fear. The way it keeps you alive is by fear. For some other persons, the way it keeps them alive is by addiction. What we must do, every single one of us, is to redirect our minds from survival to profitability. Let me tell you something that your subconscious mind does again. See, your subconscious mind, it believes that every outcome of every single trade you take is a threat to your survival. Every single trade you take, anytime you hit that empty 4 button, bam, it believes that is a threat to your life. For some other persons on this other side of addiction, is a different thing altogether. So your subconscious mind will always be in control until you change it from survival to profitability. It will always be in control of your results. So whatever you see as your result is a reflection of the kind of things going on in your subconscious mind, and not even in your conscious mind. What rules us is our subconscious mind. In fact, I used to say it if I speak to people most times, if I go to a talking event, I used to tell people a lot that perception is stronger than reality. Perception is stronger than reality. What you think about something is stronger than what that thing is. What someone thinks about you is stronger than what you are. What people think about you, some people say it doesn't matter what people think about me. Yes, it does not matter actually, but it actually matters. People will treat you the way they perceive you. There is an aura you can give out to people, and people have not, the person has not seen your face, but he can smell something around you. He can smell that you are sweaty. It gives him a perception that this person has not bathed. Oh, this person's mouth is oozing. It gives a perception. So perception is stronger than what the person truly. You can be a good person. You're a nice person. You are an amazing person. But someone does not see you as like an amazing person. You know why? It's a perception. It's what happens here. Your subconscious mind. Perception. Someone enters a trade with the mindset that this trade can go well or it doesn't go well because he understands risk management and, of course, psychology. Someone, his life is dependent on that one trade. So whatever becomes the outcome will severely affect the person because the person is still ruled by survival and not profitability. I don't know if I'm making sense tonight. Perception, guys, is stronger than reality. What you think about a particular thing is stronger than what that thing truly is. Funny enough, I can be trading the same strategy with you, but we can have different directional bias. We may have one directional bias, right? We can have a directional bias that this is going to be on a buy, but our entries differ from person to person. Immediately we cascade down from weekly time frame, getting into a daily time frame. Once we hit 15 minutes or 1 hour time frame, it will shock you that the same bias that we have for a buy, by the time we come down to individualities and execution, our bias have changed. Somebody may just be waiting for that pullback before you get into the trade. That person may say, okay, this is a buy. Let me just wait for it to get to a particular place. Let me buy. The same strategy, the same directional bias, but different entries. We are different people. What is ruling us? Perception. What we think about the market. The market is universal, but our directional thought, our directional bias, what we think about it, our perception in the market differs from person to person. What is playing? Subconsciousness. And how is subconsciousness showing up in perception? I think my time is up already because it's almost 10 o'clock. So it's actually a journey. At a particular point, we are faced with a hurdle at this point. Hurdle of indiscipline, hurdle of unrealistic dreams. Funny enough, a lot of persons are still in this particular point. Now, but do you know what subconscious does and perception does to this thing? It begins to see some of those fancy cars that some of our influencers, forex influencers put up. They don't see it like dream now. They begin to see it as motivating factor, perception. Now, the way I see those vehicles that those guys put up, I see it like, this is the reason why I need to study. This is the reason why I need to study. And now, I think I forgot to say something at technical analysis. Forex market is a market that is very dynamic. Dynamic in the sense that the intricacies in the market are deep, just like every other profession in the world. Now, someone goes to school like a medical student. You go to school and spend close to 7 years, 8 years, and after the whole thing, housemanship and all of that, studying a particular course, something as deep as the biology of a body, trying to understand medical science and all of that. And now you think you can understand the flow of the market by 3 months. You think you can understand the flow of the market by just studying alone and not executing? No, it doesn't work like that. Even if you come to the point of profitability as a trader, what even makes you more profitable as a trader is that you keep studying. Now, see, a lot of things come at this stage. What makes you a profitable trader? Now, we can have the same technical analysis, knowledge of technical analysis. We trade the same strategy. But what gives you edge? You see this thing they call edge. Is ability for you to, this thing they call edge, right? Edge is not that we are doing the same thing. Edge is that there's something you now understand in the market that I don't understand. You see, to cross this level, certify or anyone can teach you how to understand, how to become a conscious trader. He will teach you his knowledge, give you his knowledge, give you the technical skill, give you risk, help you understand whatever, right? But that still does not give you edge. You see, this for you to cross from here, certify cannot help you cross from here to this point. This is a journey that you must undertake on your own. The same way, the money that you spend here, your failures, all the money that you spend here, I call those money sacrifice. This is the money you pay to the god of Forex. Everybody must pay that sacrifice. If you didn't pay it now, it's not possible for you to move from here to this point. I don't think it's ever possible. I've never seen anybody that has ever moved from this point to this point. If you have ever moved from this point to this point, just understand that you are digging a hole for yourself because the only thing that begins at the top is the grave. You can never move from being a gambler to a profitable trader. You must undergo this series. You must undergo. And anybody that you see just move like that, oh, bruh, just move on the way. Just wait for it. It's just a matter of time. What the person is enjoying is called beginner's luck. And funny enough, beginner's luck may last for some time. Oh. You can be doing, see, you can be doing something wrong and still having results. You can do something wrong and have a result with it. That the fact that it has result does not mean that it's good. Something can be good, but it's not good. You can't. Sorry, he's looking like I'm preaching. But you can do something good, but it's not good. Something can be beautiful, but your criteria is not met. You're supposed to this is supposed to happen, this level is supposed to happen, this level is supposed to happen, this level is supposed to happen, and then before you can execute a particular trade, and you just pass everything and then execute, and you even make more money than the person that took his time. What you are doing is that you are digging a hole for yourself. Just a matter of time, you fall back again. So I rather spend my time on the start. Now, I was talking about edge. Edge is what you alone can come up with. Edge is something that you understand that nobody else understands. We went to the same college, we may be classmates, but we are not life mates. What defines our reality is not the school we went to. We can go to the same college. Somebody can go to Covenant University. Another person can go to one Nigerian backyard university. And at the end of the day, we will have different outcomes. Yes, the person that studied in Covenant University is prepared more for life. But there are some things that life will teach you that school will not let you in. And that's why I tell a lot of people that attend churches, it's good to attend a small church than to attend a big church. You know why? Children that attended big church have some edge in life more than the children that attended a big church. Simple. You know, because you are small in the church and every responsibility is put on you. Everybody know themselves. If you don't come to church, it may actually affect the service. Because staying in a small church, you learn to play the drum. You do this one, you on the generator, you do other one, you do, you know, that kind of thing. Those things are building you for life. But you see, those kids that go to big church, that nobody even knows if you come to church, whether you come to church or not, they are professionals doing everything. You know, you are not actually helping yourself. And those children that come out, you see, those ones understand life, how life functions. But those ones that came out from big church, they don't even understand responsibility. They are not taught what responsibility is all about. It's edge. Edge. The same strategy, but different approach. Let me give you an example of what edge is. What was that? For some time, I've just been looking at one particular. Okay, this is what edge looks like. Now, for some of you may not have seen something that looks like a triangle in the market, right? You have seen something that looks like this in the market, but this can look like something, but this is SLK. This is edge for me. You can be looking at this and say, is this a new strategy? It's not a new strategy. It's SLK, it's structure, it's liquidity, and it's key level. I can remove everything here now. I can show you 1,000 of these things on the chart. I'm looking at structure. Okay, I see that that this market is actually a bearish market from the daily time frame, from the monthly time frame, weekly time frame. Okay, it's going down, and now I'm down to 30 minutes time frame, and then I want to, for somebody, just okay, this is a break of structure. You know the way SMC they mark the chart. And one thing I tell people is that one of the things that's going to affect your mind as a trader is how clean your chart is. Man, I can't deal with a chart that is dark. Please, what are you doing with a black chart? Like, I can't understand it. If you show me a black chart, maybe you're trying to explain something and you show me a black chart, I won't even look at it. You know why? Because this is my natural habitat. It actually helps my comprehension. I like my charts very simple. I like my charts very understandable. He's laughing. You know, back in the day, we used to fight about, we used to fight about, you know, some people just like black charts. And I actually don't like a black chart. I like my charts white. Or sometimes, okay, like this chart is gray. Colors, very simple. I like it empty. So that I can be able to. It's something that happens to a person when you get into a room and your room is untidy everywhere, clothes everywhere, you know, that kind of a thing. You find out that you are not productive. You are not as productive as you would be if your room is tidy. The same thing happens in the market. This is part of edge. Edge that you're able to keep things simple. Back in the day, we would put indicators, say 100 indicators on our chart, and at the end of the day, you still lose the market. Now you see somebody will just do break of structure to the upside. Sorry, a break of structure, and then this is a market structure shift, or like what you can call what's it called? Church. They call it church, change of character, like SMC. SMC guys say, oh, this is a change of character to the downside, and the market is going to go bearish and all of that. And then, you start looking for your key levels or start looking for your other block or whatever it is. Yeah. But you know that, yes, I've been able to factor all of these things. Instead of drawing all these lines on my chart, instead of putting all these things on my chart, with just one particular diagram, I can actually represent I can look at a chart, one hand and look at it like this, right? And just annotate it in my mind. And everything is in the chart at the same time. It's called, I'll just give an example of what edge is. Just edge, what it means. Nobody will teach you that thing. You will learn it yourself. The amount of time you spend on the chart is going to help you to understand that. Everything I've done now is just the same thing. I didn't have to draw those lines. Some people will draw their line and put dollar sign, put different funny things. They put funny things, and the whole thing is looking so professional. I don't want to be a professional trader. I want to be a profitable trader, sir. The goal is not to be a professional trader, okay? The goal is to be profitable. I don't want to sound big. I don't want to sound so knowledgeable. And at the end of the day, the account is empty. No, not professional, but profitable. That's it. Just this alone, I've been able to annotate everything I want. I've seen a break of structure here. Now, I've also seen a break of trend line. This is a trend line. This is liquidity here. And this is telling me that this market. And now, all I need to do is just to come and look for my key level. Guys, have you seen this thing? And part of the rules of key level is that once it touches, a particular point, okay, which is on fresh, you discover that it's more stronger, like the rules of key level is stronger when it touches a particular point more often. And then I just enter my trade from it. Simple. Someone can do the same thing again, but probably the chart would have been messy by now. Because I was targeting the previous weekly, because the previous weekly low and previous daily low was actually aligning at the same point, This whole thing now that you just see now, this thing you are seeing now is what would have taken me time to start drawing. It's called edge. It's called edge. Nobody's going to teach you edge, sir. Nobody's going to teach you edge. You will learn edge yourself. So sometimes I come to a particular group and I just want to play funny, just to scatter what is happening in the group, just to be, just to cause trouble. And I'll just put up my chat. And sometimes I will even make it funny. In fact, I will not put something like this, just to cause chaos. So it's not for anything. No. I'll not put, from here. I'll not measure from here to here. And then I'll not draw. God. See, I'll not put it here. And this looks like a rhombus. This looks like a rectangle. You're like, bro, what's it with this? What's it? It's nothing. It's actually nothing. It's market structure. It's called edge. And then I can tell that market will always come from here to this point. It will always get to this point. And it looks like one strategy. Every strategy is the same. Every strategy works. What makes it work for that person and not work for that person is called edge. Edge is not strategy. Edge is what life has taught you. When your eye, you don't see something. All right, guys. So I believe, I think we've done an hour or thereabouts. So I would like to stop at this point. Okay.
Thank you very much for that wonderful answer. Yes, let's take questions. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand. Let's take questions. Do we have any questions? I don't think they have any questions. We'll just call it a day. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. And this is really impactful. I learned a lot. There is one thing I understand about this Forex space, and especially for beginners. Most of them, they don't take this part serious. This, how to build your psychology and maybe the reality of Forex trading, actually. They don't take it very seriously. They just want you to show them something on the charts. They just want you to come and tell them, oh, if you open your chart, go to 4-hour time frame, look for this, and do this. That is one thing they like to see. All of these materials for psychology, most of the things they need, like how to build their mental strength and all of that, they don't take it very, very seriously. And I think that is just the foundation of, them having a lot of losses and all of the ups and down, right? This 2025, especially this season, I think things are revolving now, and I think things are easy when it comes to forex trading. When you learn and you have people that can put you through easily. Now, compared to those days that we started forex trading, we don't have like Nigerian based people. We just learn from maybe people that are outside.
Very
So
true.
it was very, very difficult for us to learn. It was really, really difficult. So anybody that is trading Forex now that has, like-minded, especially Nigerians, our people here, I think they have more advantage compared to us then. And this psychology talk, these particular materials and all of these things that will help you build the right mindset about trading are the things that people are supposed to even pay attention to compared to, showing you charts and all of that. People might show you, oh, if you see this on the charts, do this. And at the end of the day, in the real sense, it might not go the same way they tell you to do, right? This psychology thing is what every forex trader need. How to build your right mindset. And I used to tell people, forex trading is not even a get rich quick scheme. It's not even close to anything related to get rich quick scheme. It is okay to look people from, from afar, Instagram, a lot of cars and all of that. And if we look through, if we settle down and look into all of these things, it took them years. Jeffrey Benson, I think when I passed my MFF account, I sent my certificate to Jeffrey Benson. That was in 2021. Jeffrey Benson has already been profitable then, 2021. So it will be a shock to me if they don't have a Lamborghini and all of these things that they portray now. If they don't have it, even me self, I don't even believe say forex trading they pay. So this thing takes time. It takes a lot of time. A lot of time. It takes a lot of, you being committed. It takes you wanting this thing from your heart. You like this thing, you want to do it. Like you need to come up with the zeal that you want to be a forex trader, not because of anything, but you really just want to, be trading, and the fact that you can predict something and it works globally. So this thing takes time. It takes a lot of effort, patience, and so many things. And I appreciate your teaching today. You've opened our eyes to so many things. And thank you very much, sir. You can follow Bookings. Like I said, Bookings was the person that introduced me to Forex. And he has been keeping up. Like he's a life mentor to me. He has been keeping up. He has been, so Bookings, yes, your handle. Let me just put it on here so that they will just follow you ASAP. For his Instagram, the Bookings. Let me just put it on here. D_Bookings. So you guys should follow him on Instagram.